Some bunnies with a bazooka dunk.
Way downtown. Bang! Bang!
Mama, there goes that man.
Welcome to A Tribe Called Switch. This your boy B Moore with Care from Ohio. J Money might decide to drop in on us later. He acting too good for us today, but as always, we're coming to you live. Well, not live, it's recorded, so that's how we do. But look, man, like, share, subscribe. Don't be ahead of your whole life. So, Kev, how you doing today?
Good, be more good, man. We'll hold it down for J Money.
For
We've been
sure.
holding down, but good, my man. Besides this, Maryland weather is just erratic and spooky. I don't know what it's been something, man.
It's crazy. Like yesterday here was 90 in South Carolina. Today, right now, tonight's like 50 degrees and the winds are blowing like crazy. So, but you know what? That spooky is the word, because what Bam did 2 nights ago is spooky. Look, man, Bam scored. Bam Adebayo scored 83 points. And I've never seen so many people unhappy that he scored that amount of points. Like, I can remember Donovan Mitchell scored 70, like 2 years ago. People were happy. Luka scored 70. Book has scored like high 60s, almost 70. All these people scored 70, not quite got to the 80 point. No complaints.
Right.
Bam passes Kobe, the late great Kobe Bean Bryant, and the world has turned upside down. You've got half the people saying, all right, cool, whatever. But you got the other half that's loud. It's like, yo, this is bull. What do you think about it, man?
Man, be more, man. I think one of the best places to be is the barbershop. Oh boy. I heard guys talking about, man, 83. He ain't even better than his girl for real. He ain't even better than her. I was saying, oh man, they just kind of going in. I just feel I'm 50-50. The conspiracy theorist says that, no way his game gets him that amount of points, right? Talking to a fellow barber, he advises, hey, when he watched the highlights of it, Bam was working hard, he was getting buckets. Wizards just didn't make no adjustments, and I respect that. I get that too. The other side of me is just kind of like, man, that is a lot of free throw attempts, and it's like, when we've seen other guys from MJ 63 to Kobe, etc. It's so sensational. It's off the dribble. It's this, is that, and Bam, it's not. His game just isn't sensational. Though he's a really good player, it's just you just feel there's an asterisk because you feel like he got here, but it was with some type of support. It wasn't just on his own merit, and that's not fair to him, right? So it's just I see both sides of it, but it's been so funny to just kind of follow it.
I think you're right. I think his game isn't sensational. It's not exciting. And look, this is the first year that we really see Bam take 3-pointers. So he's hitting 3 points, but I think he hit like 4 or 5 last night or the other night. So it doesn't feel like his game gets him to 83 and so many free throws. And again, look, I'm kind of like you about like where I'm 50-50 because it's really that point down the stretch. I think it was like 4 minutes left where they're like, all right, we're close. We're going to really go for it. And he was at the free throw line a lot. It just wasn't like, we remember seeing the heights of Kobe hitting those shots, hitting J after J, driving, against Toronto, making Jalen Rose look crazy. We remember those highlights.
Yeah.
And it just didn't. I think that's probably the thing that where basketball fans are kind of was like, it doesn't feel special. It should be special, but just doesn't feel special.
Yeah. I seen in some of the comments, you had guys put in parlays for unders because they're up 30.
Yes.
So you think Bam is done? Bam kept cooking. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, wow, so it feels tainted, but it's not fair. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you're talking about the bubble championship. I understand, but in theory, it impacts everyone the same way, but we still put an asterisk on it. It's just tough. I hate that for Bam because Bam is not a guy that, causes any waves. He works hard, does it the right way. And I hate to even kind of that he's receiving such ridicule, but it's just the times that we live in, man. In 2026, we don't know between AI, we don't know what we can see. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but listen, shout out to Bam, man. Listen, I don't know how you get there. 83 points, bro. It is hard to get 83 points sometimes a 2K. So you scoring 83 points in an NBA game Free throws or not, whatever, man. Big up the Bam, man.
Yes, sir. It deserves some respect. I get it.
For real. All right. So the Clippers. So we've talked about the Clippers a few times on this show, and we've been kind of seeing them making moves after, it seemed like after Chris Paul left, they kind of figured it out. I don't know. I'm just saying. It seemed like after they decide to part ways, they kind of figured it out. Kawhi is playing more. He just dropped 45 last night. Look, man, in the West, with the 3 and 4 seeds looking shaky. I think the 3 seed now, depending on the day, it'll be the Nuggets or the Lakers, and the Rockets are all those teams in the mix. I mean, the Clippers can beat any one of those teams the way how they're playing right now. So I think they are a dangerous team that's probably going to be end up underseeded.
I agree with you, my brother. It's if you don't have the personnel to kind of disrupt what Kawhi is doing, you're gonna struggle because they got a lot of pieces. You know what I mean? And I love the front court. And I think I saw a quote with they were talking about Kawhi, and it was like, what kind of upgrade did he get? A software upgrade did he get? I'm like, that is kind of how he's playing, man. But it's just seeing that rhythm he had since the All-Star game. It's just good to see Kawhi like that. And we've never doubted his game. It's just that it always comes down to the best availability. And he's always been, on the pendulum. So it's like it's tough, but to your point, I think they are a viable threat in the West.
Yeah, like I guess it was last night against Minnesota. Darius Garland looked good. He looks like he's going to fit in with them. So again, it's still early with that experiment because he's come off his injury. But the way they're playing defense, the way they harass Ant, man, Kawhi had Gobert looking absolutely stupid last night. Yeah. I'm not sure if Gobert is going to be playable in the playoffs because he was looking terrible. Like Kawhi, I saw a clip where Kawhi was in the lane. Gobert was in front of him, and Kawhi just went under him, and Gobert was like, "What happened?" Like you can't play him if he can't even play in the lane. You can't play Gobert because he's fooled on the pick and roll. Now he's fooled in the lane. Like what are we doing?
Mike Singletary would say, "Can't win with him. Can't win with him."
Yo.
Not like that. Yeah, they again, and no, but the flip side of that is Naz Reid. He's a stretch, but it's not like he's the greatest defender in the post. So it's a pro and a con. Which they could kind of work with in conjunction. But Rudy, Rudy ain't it. But Rudy is just he's a piece to have. But I understand you can see against those top teams from Denver to OKC, he's going to lose the matchup.
Absolutely. Yeah, but back to the Clippers, man. I honestly think in a 7-game series, they can definitely beat the Rockets. I feel they can beat the Rockets. We'll talk more about them next, but the Nuggets, I'm not scared of the Nuggets anymore. Like for a while, the first half of the season, I was like, okay, they seem strong, but I mean, Jokic is going to be Jokic, but nobody else in that team really scares me.
Yeah, the magic doesn't seem to be there. It's always we're so used to Aaron Gordon playing the clutch or different things that kind of just catapult him, but it's different personnel too. Porter Jr. out of there, the critique was him not showing up. Maybe you're missing his shooting. So it's something.
In Brooklyn.
right, cooking.
I mean, they're losing, but he cooking.
Right.
So. Yeah, man. And then the Clippers going to be a fun team to watch down the stretch. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Clippers-Lakers first-round matchup, which would be big. I mean, I think that would be because honestly, neither one of those teams are really championship material. But I think it's a good matchup for both teams to see exactly what's next week for both of them.
To your point, can Rue slow down? Can he disrupt Kawhi's offense?
Not the way Kawhi's playing, honestly. I think they'll have to send lots of bodies at Kawhi, but I've never seen Kawhi be this aggressive. I think that's the difference I've seen in the games I watched this year of the Clippers is that he's being way more aggressive. Like he's going for it more than I've really seen. Like normally, I feel like Kawhi will always be a easy 20, 25 point player. Just easy buckets, but he's like his aggression, like he's not taking no. Like if he has the ball, he feels that the team needs him to be aggressive. He's not taking no for an answer. He's like, all right, 1 against 5, and I'm gonna win. And that's what he's been doing. And it's And so it's
no. You almost kind of describing his time in Toronto. You know, what I mean, the epic shot when he sitting there waiting for it to fall. You know what I mean? That's that moment, right? But on the flip side, I look at it kind of goes back to matchups with the Lakers. As great as Kawhi is, he's not necessarily the quickest guard to step. You know what I mean? He's efficient. He gets to his spot. He gives you the old Tim Hardaway, boom, boom, boom. He pulls up. He's 6'7". But it's funny. I could see him actually struggling against like a Marcus Smart, because Marcus Smart, where he is, I think his IQ and his grit would just kind of just pester him a little bit. Not that Kawhi wouldn't get his numbers, but I think he would pester him. And then between Rui Hachimura and then the other pick would be Vanderbilt. So I think that would be an intriguing matchup against the Lakers. But I do think the Lakers got the personnel to slow them down a bit.
I worry about none of those three seem strong. Like, I mean, Marcus Smart is strong, but I think that's the difference. Because you're right. You're not worried about his foot speed. But Kawhi is strong, and Marcus Smart has strength, but Marcus Smart, his body is so beat up, you just don't know how that, you just don't know where that lies. But I think that would be his strength. Like I just think Kawhi is just so strong. Like when you see Kawhi go, like it's like you're like, ooh, okay.
Yeah. You're right. You're any experience. You're right, man. It's gonna be tough, but that would be a really good series. Really good.
It would be. So I want to talk about these Rockets, man. So and look, the Rockets, to be fair, they're still in the mix. I think they're still a top 4 seed, but they don't look like it. They don't look like it's the weirdest thing. Kevin Durant, I think he's like 8th in the league in scoring right now, putting up numbers because he kind of has to. But this team, we thought that Kevin Durant was the missing piece. This team last year was number 2 seed, and nobody in this team could score. It was scoring by committee. Like who it was a roll of dice that was going to score. Yeah. But this team with a top 10 scorer are worse. And I can't like, I watch them and I'm just like, they don't seem good. Like you look at the players, they're like, okay, y'all are making shots, y'all playing different defense, but y'all don't, something about this team isn't right. And I don't know what he needs to do. I don't know what he has to do to get it right to go in the playoffs, but this team isn't right now.
I agree with you 1,000%, my brother. And it's so funny, man. It's leadership that they're lacking, but it's on so many different levels. For example, on the court, you need that facilitator that's kind of putting guys in a position where they need to go. You got a young guy who's athletic, he can defend, but leadership isn't necessarily his strength. And I'm not saying he's a timid guy, but I just don't think he's naturally Chris Paul-esque. That's necessarily him. And then I look at Kevin Durant. Weeks ago we were talking about his burner account. And him. And if that's him, is that not him? You know what I mean? It's kind of like he's not the type of emotional leader on the court either that's going to be telling guys where to go. He's the best player by default, but that doesn't make you the leader. That echoes, Carmelo Anthony back when he's with the Knicks. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're the best player by default, and sometimes that makes you a leader, but he's not necessarily the most verbal guy. He's more verbal on the one-to-one, mano-a-mano. He's going to be him. And I just feel like, so that team, just going back to Houston, they just lack leadership. You need a point guard that can facilitate. If they had Van Lee, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But, and even though he's not that most verbal either, but his skill set just makes everything so much more efficient, and it kind of pitches a better game for them. So they're missing that, I think, the vocal leader to kind of pick up the pieces, and they just don't have it. So I wouldn't see them coming out of the West at all.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's funny when we started this season, when we were looking at the previews, we heard Amen Thompson was going to be their point guard, and then and the flip side, another Texas team, Dallas was going to use Cooper Flagg as the point guard, and we were looking at Cooper Flagg as a point guard, like, really? Right. And we gave credit to Amen Thompson, like, okay, he probably can do it, but Cooper Flagg's like, he has more of a handle of running the team, and granted, that team wasn't playing for anything, so there's that, but he looks more fit for the role than someone like Amen Thompson, and I did not see that coming at the beginning of the season. Like, I thought that, hey, you got a team of talent. You guys were just there. You guys took champion Warriors to the limit, and you guys probably could have won if somebody could have made 2 baskets in the last 5 minutes of Game 7. But this year they just look like they just like they're going through the motions. I mean, so the Rockets right now they're tied. They're in the third. They're technically in third place, but them and the Lakers they have the same record, and the Nuggets and the T-Wolves are 1 game back. So that 3 through 6 seed is separated by 1 game. So they could be in third place today, and by the time we talk again next week, they could be a 7 seed easily.
And we're a little less than 20 games left.
Yeah, I think we're at 18 now.
18 left. Yeah, it's gonna heat up, man. And this man seeding is so funny. It's always, LeBron James and seedings is so funny. It just so many memories. It's like, well, do they want to win that game? No, they rather play them. But it is strategy, either way. So I think I get it, but I think Houston's in trouble. I think they are in trouble. I think if they had a veteran point guard, to give the comparison, it's almost like a Derek Fisher. A Lindsey Hunter, some guy that's just going to give you stability. I just don't think they have that. And I think KD, as great as he is, he's not the type of leader that's going to really, really lead a team where they need to be. And I think they're out.
Yeah, I think so. I would not be surprised if KD's a one and done in Houston, man. Because listen, I know there's no rumors about it, and I understand, but they literally brought him there to do one thing. And that's to get them not even necessarily a championship, but to get them to the next step
in contention.
Exactly. And he can. Oh, here comes J Money.
Yo.
What's up, fellas?
What's up? We just talk about how disappointing the Rockets are right now. Yeah, like I was just saying just how like I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Durant leaves after the season because they brought him there for one thing, and that's to get this team to at least to the second round. And the way the matchups are going, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't know if he would leave. I think he might stick it out because he signed a 2-year, right?
Yeah.
I think he'll sign an extension depending on how this last push goes into the playoffs. We all know KD's a winner, so like I think he might stick it out, pass his contract, ask for an extension, and then if things look good and they make it to the finals or conference finals, I think he'll stick around.
It's funny when he says that. B More, he said Kevin Durant is a winner. And first thing, my first thought was, is he a winner or just has he won?
That's a good question.
So
that's a really good question.
All right, Kev. I'm gonna let you cook. Go on.
I said it to say when you look at his time with OKC when he was truly the best player on that team, and it was a Kevin Durant led team, they lost. I think when you switch gears and you got close with OKC and the Warriors sent him home, you joined forces, and it's at that moment in time, you moved into a mansion, but all I want you to do is vacuum. That's easy. You know what I mean? So he is a winner. Absolutely, man. He put in work, but I just feel like the task got so much more easier based upon where he decided to take his career. So he's a winner, but I don't know. Just saying.
So that's a good question. And I'm of two minds. I don't like the basketball mind that we sometimes fall into of like, if you don't win a championship, you're not a winner, right? I'm personally, I'm trying to stay away from that because I think that's unfair. And I think we're, from a broad perspective, we're losing memories of a lot of our great players who didn't win because it's like championship or nothing. If you didn't win a championship, and I think that mentality is how come we are forgetting players, how great players like Charles Barkley were, right? Even because we're like, he didn't win a championship. So now he's like, okay, he's just funny Chuck on TNT. But when Charles Barkley was on the court, he was one of the top 3 best players in the league. That being said, I'm gonna go with yes, he's a winner. And I will say that even though he's the only one with Golden State, and you're right, all he had to kind of do was give him that little extra, get him over the hump. I agree with that. I don't disagree. But all of his teams that he's ever been on has been contenders. That team in Brooklyn was a mess, and he got them. I mean, look, if his foot was a half a size shorter, Milwaukee might not have a ring. I mean, listen, that's sports though. That's how things go. But I'm just saying he has done some heroic efforts with teams. I mean, that Phoenix team last year was terrible, but in the playoffs, he showed up. I mean, he was by himself, but he showed up. So I think that's why I lean toward him being a winner, even though he's only got those rings in Golden State.
I feel like it's a good, it's a valid point, to be honest with you. I feel like if the situation was a lot better in Brooklyn, there's a very, very high possible chance that they win a ring. I think the practice of super teams would also still have a major impact on the league versus now developing young players. And I think we probably would not have appreciated the game more too, because of, like, at the time, the culture of the NBA was nothing but super teams. And LeBron James is a very prime example of that super team scenario, because he went to Miami Heat, the big three, Bosh, Wade, Bron, and then you had your supporting cast of Norris Cole, Mario Chalmers, Chris Anderson, Shane Battier, like all those guys that played into Golden State, KD and Golden State. So, but now, like, winning basketball, he's now with a young team, and now he's following the culture of the NBA right now, where developing young players are now starting to win more games because they have a lot more energy and they really, really have a true love for the game. It's more than just money to them. It's about winning. Also, ring culture has impacted our ability to appreciate true legends of the game too. And so, like, that's, you bring up a great point, B More. We're not appreciating the legends of the past because of that.
Hey, be more. I received that. It's funny. Things can't change until the narratives change. We talk about winning. I don't know how many times I've heard MJ 6-0 in the finals. Yeah. MJ 6-0 in the finals. It's like that narrative. His version of winning creates the blueprint. He's the architect of winning, though he doesn't have the most championships. Right. Though he's not number one in any statistical stat. When you debate it, many refer to him as GOAT, and they always go to the 6-0. And so I say again, winning is winning, but your journey is important. We all want to get to the pinnacle, the mountaintop of success, but how you get there is important. And again, I don't minimize per se his championship, because he played a big part on that team, but the journey just wasn't the same. And I guess I say the same thing with LeBron, J Money. The first big three wasn't Miami; it was in Boston. Right, I'm gonna say it was with Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, Rondo, and Paul Pierce. Oftentimes I hear people say, "Oh man, they was aging." Come on now, KG was still an all-star. He was early 30s. Rondo was a beast. Then the supporting cast of Tony Allen and others. That was a dominant team. Dominant team.
They were at the end. They weren't right. They were at the end of their prime. They weren't like the Brooklyn version of Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Terrible.
Yes, sir.
They still, you're right. They still had a lot. Had a lot of gas left. They did.
Ray,
go ahead, sir. Go ahead, Kev.
I'm sorry. Ray went on to win a ring with Miami, so clearly wasn't done. Wasn't done.
Yeah.
So what's crazy? That Brooklyn team. All right. So outside of the Dodgers, because the Dodgers have more money than God, it seems like. But outside the Dodgers, that Brooklyn team really ended the super team culture in professional sports. Like that was like the final straw. Like teams in baseball, because they don't have a salary cap, it's just whoever's got the most money. But other professional sports, because I was watching, I was reading this article, stopped doing it because the super team only really worked once. And that was twice. That was in Boston and Miami. After that, no one's really won, because it's been a lot of what ifs. Certain things have happened. No one's really won with the super team as like the three people. Like the Lakers won the bubble but it was really LeBron and Anthony Davis. It wasn't really a third person. But that 3-star thing, since it's stopped, like, because soccer, they tried it. They had Messi, Neymar, and one more person who was like one of
wasn't Pepe on the team too?
Who?
I think his name is Pepe No, I'm thinking of a different player.
No, it was PSG. It was, I forgot who the third player was. Neymar, Messi, and was somebody. They're like, and they paid a ton of money, and
Yeah.
did nothing.
Wasn't Beckham? No, wasn't Beckham. No.
Wasn't Beckham,
No. Beckham's been retired way before. Like,
it was okay. This is just going
that
to
guys,
It was Messi, Neymar. Who else? PSG.
I don't know.
It wasn't Mbappe. It was too early. It was who was this? Sir? Was it Mbappe?
I thought.
Remember Freddie Adu? Freddie.
Yeah, wow, yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah. No, I guess it was about because Mbappe was a young guy. So Mbappe was a young guy.
Yeah, he's a star.
So-
He's a huge star too.
He's huge. Like he was like they compared it to. Someone said it was like if LeBron, KD played, and then 21-year-old Kobe Bryant was also on that team. Like that's the type of team that was, right?
Dang.
And
21-year-old Kobe. Wow.
right. Because Mbappe was so young. He was the new kid, like he was so young.
Oh, I see.
But it was like, yeah, and they did it, and nothing happened. Like and then pretty much like clockwork, Brooklyn broke up, and they were like, all right, guys, y'all gotta go. We keeping Mbappe, but y'all the other two, because y'all old, peace, we out. And then other sports have followed suit. It's like the era of the super team for professional teams is like completely done now. It's really just as you were saying, Josh. It's really about the young talent. If you can bring in someone like a Kevin Durant, cool. But we really want the young boys to grow together. And
didn't the Cubs have a super team too, though? Because they had Chris Bryant, Javier Baez, Anthony Rizzo, and
the Cubs.
Oh my God, the Cubs. Yeah, not Chris Bryant. I'm thinking of oh my God.
But what?
Yeah,
because that was some of that wasn't that homegrown though.
Yeah, because
I don't.
I think that was homegrown.
Was it? Because I thought
Rizzo was there.
Yeah,
I thought Rizzo came from Rizzo went to New York.
No, he went to New York. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
okay.
Because I remember Chris Bryant was drafted by them. That was a big thing.
I don't know. Okay. So So then never mind. Then that point is moot then. But it looks like they were a super team though because of how well they did during the season. That was crazy. I think I like bandwagon the Cubs too the year they won the series because I became a fan of Javier Baez because of his play style too. So like I was like, dang, this is kind of cool.
Wow. Quick note: Chris Bryant and Bryce Harper were on the same high school team. How is that fair?
Bro, that's a cheat code.
Damn.
Crazy.
I don't know how
You just walk them. You said the Dodgers got more money than God.
they just keep signing people, bro. Like they just listen. This is not a baseball podcast where we all watch sports. We all pay attention to certain things.
Yeah.
But, they just sign whoever they want. They're like, all right, who
I need that. I need that. Right.
Bro, when they signed Mookie Betts, I was like, oh, there's no limits to this. Like, are you serious? And then they gave Shohei Ohtani all of his money like up front, and he was just like, cool. Like, what?
Yeah,
wow. They were like, he was like, give it to me later. Let me just play.
And your poor Brewers are like, please for a salary cap. Please for a salary cap.
Wow.
I would too. I would push for a ban on how many superstars you can sign. Like,
wow.
There.
All right, we're gonna take it back to basketball. This Pistons team, they're looking funny in the light right now. 5-5 their last 10. They're not looking like this dominant team, and the East has gotten interesting because they look like they're running away with it at the All-Star break. And now Boston's only 4 games back with 18 games left. The Knicks 6 games back. I mean, look, man, they go 5-5. They keep going 500. That number 1 seed isn't going to be locked. And listen, for a while I was saying they are shooing to win the East the way they were playing, but it looks like Cade Cunningham is the only person on that team that can shoot. So I don't know how that's going to work in the playoffs.
The Pistons just punched the Sixers in the mouth, 130 to 106.
They did, but they also didn't have Maxey. So,
boom, good point, B. Moore.
Good point. The result would still be the same, though.
No.
I mean, maybe, but still, I mean, 5-5 in their last 10. That's 500 basketball. Mm-hmm. You look at the other top teams, and I mean, the Hawks are 8-2 in the last 10. The Hornets 8-2 in the last 10.
Mm-hmm.
The Celtics 7-3 in the last 10. So other teams seem to be getting better, and they're again, 18 games left, playing some time to get it right. But
So be more. I go back and forth. A Knick fan, right?
yeah,
So when Detroit was playing him, I said, hey, it's kind of just about matchups. As great as Jalen Brunson is, he's still a small guard. When Cade Cunningham puts him on that hip and he elevates, it's a clean window. So that's just a tough matchup for them. Josh Hart still is a bit undersized to play against Cade. And then I don't know if you want to put OG on him, and it takes him off of his matchup. So I think that's such a tough matchup. And of course, Detroit gets off. But then what happens? We play my Cavs. And no one would say James Harden is a good defender. No one would say that. But the difference is James Harden is still 6'7". So it's kind of like, as you attempting to post him, you're getting a little more resistance than you would have got against Jalen Brunson. And I feel like teams, when they play Detroit, if you can slow down Cade to an extent while he's a good passer, you just kind of, you slow down the snake, the whole team kind of changes, and you really start to see where they're not as efficient. I love Karis LeVert, but at times he can be erratic, and I just feel like they don't necessarily have, and then, we known, what's the small forward's name they have?
On the Pistons?
Yeah, came from Philly. We know his name.
Oh, the one who looks like J. Cole.
Right.
Tobias Harris?
Yeah, Tobias Harris. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tobias
right. And we know Tobias will disappear. So think about it. That's been as good as he is. His days in Philly, he would just disappear. So I'm not surprised that Detroit is struggling. You just got to look at how they assemble and who they play. It, I guess plays a big part. But they won't beat Boston. They won't beat the Cavs either. I feel like Detroit isn't it.
I think I gotta say Detroit had a bigger chance to win against Boston before Jason Tatum came back.
Good point. Mm-hmm.
Now that Jason Tatum is back, he's been dropping 20 since in almost every game. I mean, it's so crazy. I don't know if y'all talked about it already, but that dude came back and just dropped 20 in each game, easy double. Thought it was fine, but yeah. So now that we've got a healthier Jason Tatum, it's very hard to beat that team. And Jaylen Brown, kudos to him for carrying the Celtics up until this point to a first seed now, I think.
No, two seed.
So honestly, dude did his job. But I think before Jason Tatum come back, Pistons had a better chance. Now that he's back, it's very questionable. But I think the Pistons have a better chance of beating the Cavs, though. No lie. I think they have a better chance of beating the Cavs, mainly because James Harden, he's not a big defensive threat, but the biggest thing is health. If Evan Mobley can stay healthy, I know Jared Allen has improved since James Harden has been there, but I think if Evan Mobley is not a big factor in if that matchup, then it becomes a problem.
Cavs in 5.
I have to do something in the playoffs before I believe them. Were we in year 2 or 3 of the Donovan Mitchell experience? I mean, they never done anything in the playoffs. This is his better. This is probably his best team right now. Mm-hmm. So I have to. And look, they've had bad luck. Things have just happened. People have gone down. So I don't want to. I don't want to not give the context. But I got it before I even say that they're going to beat anybody. They got to do something in the playoffs, man. We haven't seen them do anything.
And
go ahead.
Well, no, I'm saying, but you know why? Darius Garland. That's why he's out of there, B-More. That's why he's gone. He wasn't a good Robin. And Donovan showed up every time, man. Yeah. And Darius Garland just was not it. Brooklyn series, Donovan is out. This guy goes 1 for 15. Get him out of here. Oh, my. What the young people do? Oh, my. Get him out of here, man. He got to go. This year's different, though.
All right. Hey, so I've been watching the Magic down the stretch. There's this kind of debate that's happening. We want to make Paolo the man, but Desmond Bane has really been their real number one. Him and his ludicrous arms, he's really been their number one. What? And I mean, there's going to be a conversation about who really runs that team. But if he plays like that, he's going to give the Magic are going to give some teams some problems. I think. I don't know who they can really beat, but Desmond Bain dropping 35. Somebody's going to be sweating.
Be more. I was watching that game live against the Cavs. Jay Money, he was cooking. He was like 12 for 17. He was so efficient. He was 16 for 17 from the stripe. We had came down in the Wayne moments. We were down 1. He hits a 3 for the shot clock ends. He was just sensational. So yeah, Desmond Bain is tough. And it's funny you go back to the actual trade. I thought they gave up too much. Man, he's a good player.
Yeah.
He's always been that guy, to be honest with you, especially like with Memphis. But Memphis was purely focused on Ja Morant. And then when Ja was out and I think it was for the play-in last year, Desmond Bain stepped up and started making some noise. And so he improved his trade value through the roof during the play-in last year. So I'm glad Desmond Bain is getting his flowers. I think he'll be an all-star for sure over the next couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So our last topic, MVP race. So, man. This thing has gone through so many phases. I mean, beginning of the season, it looked like it was going to be Shay's. And then Jokic was going crazy, getting a triple-double seemed like every game. Then Jokic gets hurt, and then Wemby goes crazy. And then Wemby gets hurt, and then you had Cade going crazy. And now Shay's back, and Shay is absolutely running things right now. Mm-hmm. But he's not quite running away with the MVP yet. It's still there's still some questions. I know Kev, I know you don't believe him. I still think Wemby is a contender for this. I think you cannot discount him. I think Cade is definitely in there, but Jaylen Brown, he's in that mix too. And there's a part of me that feels that Jason Tatum only came back so that Jason Brown doesn't get that MVP. I don't know. This is how I feel.
Dang. It's funny you say that though, man. It's the league is all about narratives, and maybe his return makes his status plummet a little bit. You're absolutely right. Detroit poor play. Now Cade is plummeting, so and it's kind of like that. But you bring up a really good point, man, that Wemby is deserving, man. Them guys, are they top of the West or number 2?
Number 2. They are 3 games back, I think it looks like.
His I feel so bad about. I've had so many conversations about him and Bobo. Man, him and Bobo, they the same thing. Bobo just need opportunity. And then until one day I was watching someone and they was just said, man, Bobo, he just lazy. And I was like, there is a big difference between him and Wemby. Wemby, man, is sensational. Mm-hmm. Wow, so I'm with you on that. If he doesn't get it this year, wouldn't surprise you if he got it next year. Wemby's that good.
So the Spurs are number 2, but I think if they are 2.5 games back. So if they win today, I think they'll be down 1 game. But I don't think Wemby is gonna win MVP anytime soon, as long as Shea, Joker, Cade, and are making strong cases for themselves. Because I think those guys are the faces of the league right now. It's a transition. It's a transition from the old heads now to the YNs, and so Wemby, it will be the MVP for his generation once Shea and Joker retire. I think that's not towards when they retire, but towards maybe the peak of their prime, and they kind of hit that fall off. I think that's when Wemby starts becoming an MVP, because there's no way Wemby can outbeat in voting against these other guys.
Oh, he can, because
I don't think so.
I'm gonna tell you why. One main reason: if probably not for this year, but you let the Spurs again next year end up a 2 seed or 1 seed, he's getting it. He's getting it because there's going to be an argument to be made that the best player on the best team,
best record,
and a lot of times that's what trumps everything else. And if for some reason the Thunder are a 2 or 3 seed next year, and the Spurs are a 1 or 2 seed, best player, we're not even worried about somebody in the East right now. Best player, best team. Jaylen Brown has a chance to win MVP because nobody had expectations, and we're looking up. And we're in the last parts of the season, and we're like, oh, They're the number 2 seed. Yo, he balling out. He is going crazy. Like he's getting that Russell Westbrook push when he averaged a triple-double that first year, where they're like, okay, the Thunder aren't that good of a team, but what he's doing is great. I think that same push is on Jaylen Brown's like, okay, even though he acted like a fool on the other night, he got ejected over something crazy. I think he just didn't want to play because that was stupid. That ejection was stupid. Like he come on.
I feel you.
Listen, here's why I feel like I'm gonna push back on you, Uncle P. Okay, I'm gonna push back on this. Kev, what is your favorite saying?
The best ability is availability.
Exactly. How many games has Wemby missed already this year?
He is missed. He's still on pace to get 65. So I think he's missed like 9 or 10.
Okay. If he can't, I feel like he's missed more games.
Let's see. Go ahead, keep talking. I'll find out.
I feel like if he doesn't stay consistently healthy, his performance and his ability of being dominant is without question. No one's going to question that. But if he misses too many games and he doesn't get stronger, then he starts to lose his case as an MVP.
So he's missed 14.
14. So I think he still has to work on his health and his frame to be a much more presence, make his presence felt much more. I don't think he is. Like I said, I don't think he's going to upbeat the Joker or Shea anytime soon. Those guys.
Hey, Shea's missed 10 games, so just saying.
It's 10 games compared to 14. Technically, that's still a lot, though. That's a giant gap in between the two, especially in basketball. But I don't think Wemby's going to beat up these guys. I feel like something else is probably going to happen. No, knock on wood, next year to where Wemby falls out of that MVP race. Not the conversations, but just the race itself. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I like Wemby.
I think that's the thing, that people like him and they like him because he wants it. We haven't seen I don't know if it was LeBron or maybe the generation right after him ushered in this thing where they always seem too cool for awards. Like they kind of wanted it, but they didn't really want to say they want it. Yeah. And Wemby seems to be just really like, no, give me everything. I want a championship. I want MVP. He's open to say it. He plays. He takes basketball so seriously. We just haven't seen that where people have just express this desire to win like that.
Wemby, I think, like I said, I stand on what I say. It's not going to happen. I stand on it. I think once Joker and Shea start to have their fall off, that's when Wemby's true rise to number 1 MVP is going to happen. And that's what's going to happen for the next few years.
He might have to average 10 blocks, J Money.
Honestly,
don't average 10,
or pull a Rudy Gobert and just cry for it. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Oh, he's definitely getting Defensive Player of the Year this year. He's definitely getting that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so Kev, so who's what's the day? March 12th. Who's your MVP? Who's your MVP pick?
Wow, man. You know what?
Don't say this one. Nope, just one person. Who's your person?
Jokic.
Okay.
Jokic, he been balling, man. You look up 35 and 22, 35 and 24, 35 and 25. He gets busy, man. And I feel like I want to almost hate on him because he's not a good defender, but he's efficient. He got a lot of grit. And then when he had that recent back and forth with that guy, his eyes was all big. He earned some points for me with that one. I said, look at Jokic. I want to know what he was saying though, but
he looked like he was going to kill that.
Right, I'll eat your face.
Yo, Lou Dort tried to bully people, and when he saw, he was like, "Nah, man, I don't want those."
Right, wow.
And then he made an Instagram post about it later too, and I was like, "That was weak." Shut up.
You weren't doing nothing, and if you did do something, his brothers are in the stands, and you're not doing anything with those Giants.
Right.
So let's be real. All right, J Money, who's your MVP pick?
All right, y'all ready for this?
Yep.
Klay Thompson. No, just playing. Jaylen Brown, man. Definitely Jaylen Brown.
Wow.
No, I don't think anyone has done, outside of Steph Curry, has done what he's been doing for this season without help. And that's without a true big man, a healthy big man as well. carry this team to the number 2 spot. I got to give it to Jaylen Brown.
I want to say Wemby. I think this is his year. I think this is his year. I think when you look at the only thing that hurts his case is the fact that the Spurs team didn't miss a beat when he goes out. And that's because they're just a good team and they're well coached. But when he's in the game, he changes so much. And
everything.
He's just been like both sides of the ball. Like, yo, that I don't know if y'all saw that break when he was on the break and he finished with reverse dunk. Like,
yeah, that was crazy.
Like, what is that? Like, I watch his highlights and I always end up with like, what is that? Like, what are we? Why are we watching 2K in real life? Like, this should not be happening. Like, you expect someone that tall, like, of course, yeah, he's going to block shots, yeah, sure. But to handle the ball, taking step back 3-pointers, what are you doing? Hitting sham balls on a break? What?
That's kind of crazy.
Okay. Wow.
So he's my pick. I think it's gonna be. I think when it comes down to it, it's gonna be really tight. I think it's gonna be a tight. I really think it'll be JB, Wemby, and SGA. I think that's how the votes are gonna split. But it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I think with JB, he has the opposite Wemby effect. I think people don't like him. I think people just don't like him, and because he's done some weird stuff in the past. We've talked about that before. How he gets the
hairline thing, but
him training underwater, punching like he thinks he's Ali. He gets a little extra, but no. I think all are good picks. I think Jokic is a good pick. I think the Nuggets, the way how they're playing on the stretch, he's doing everything he could possibly do for this team.
Yeah.
Like, there's no more the man could do. Like he drops 50 something and they still lose. Like, what else do you want from him? And I think this year is, to what you said before, J Money, we are seeing the kind of the turning of the page. The new generation, they're really taking over, so the league's in good hands, man. The league's I think this might be the first time that, at least in my lifetime, I can remember where the old guard was moving out and there wasn't that lull of like, okay, who's going to take over? Like, there's so much young talent that's playing ball. Like, you remember at the end of the Jordan era? I mean, we had Shaq, but it was Shaq and AI, and the rest of that was kind of ugly because we were waiting for Kobe to do something. We were waiting for these other little. It was ugly. And then at the end of kind of when Kobe was leaving, we had LeBron, we had this, but it was still, it wasn't even like it was, it was LeBron against the world because it was really, there were good teams, but not players that you were just ready to kind of like, latch onto. And now across the league, if you're a fan of basketball, there's stars everywhere. There's Tyrese Maxey in Philly, even though they're not going to win a championship, but there's, he's young. You got Cooper Fly looking like he's going to be the next best thing in Dallas. There's all these stars. So basketball NBA is in such a great place. Like I've never seen it like this flush with talent in a long time. I hope they don't try to dilute it more with an expansion. So I think that'll be better.
Yo, who needs more recognition too?
Yeah,
Ant-Man. Ant-Man needs more recognition. He needs an award too. Or something, maybe someone who is just a villain, or the biggest ego award, or some, I don't know what it is, but he needs an award. He needs an accolade outside of All-Star. Like, he has done so much for the league in general for his generation. Like, he needs something.
Most improved jump shot.
Seriously, yeah.
Remember, he was all the way back here.
Yeah, I hope that I love the fact that he makes himself known and wants to be in the spotlight. But the way, there is no way for him to win MVP. Like, there is no road this year, next year, or whenever for him to really win MVP, right? Yeah, he's going to make all NBA. He's going to get that. But there is when you just look at the landscape, there's no road to a championship. There's no road to an MVP. And so he is that type of guy who we talked about earlier of like, hey, if his career plays out this way, we don't want him to get lost because let's be real, If Kevin Garnett doesn't go to Boston, we may look at Kevin Garnett's career a little bit different if he stayed in Minnesota or stayed a little bit too long, stayed longer because he wouldn't have got that ring. So but I agree he needs more recognition, but the West is so tight and he doesn't have a road to any of those things.
So he just needs to pull a Kevin Garnett and go to a different market then?
No, I want his front office to figure it out. That's what I want. I want his front office to figure it out. Same thing what I want for Giannis. I want the front office, even though that's not going to happen now, but I want the front office to figure it out. There's talent. You don't need, as we talked about earlier, you don't need to have the super big name free agents. You just have to have a good scouting department and good coaching to figure out what pieces are going to fit together. And and then he can actually contend. Like the Minnesota isn't a bad team, but they still they're a piece missing. They need Julius Randle is in that piece that's going to put them over the top.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why they thought that he was, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I agree with you too. I just feel like, and I know we're short on time, but like I feel like players go to teams that have like history. Chicago, MJ, LA, Kobe, Golden State, Steph, Jared Jack, like these other guys, and then Miami, you got Wade. Like these guys want to go to a place that has a championship culture. And I feel like Minnesota is always going to forever be that small market team that could be the what if or the biggest what if scenario if they had more, pieces to support Ant-Man with. And the same with Brooklyn. Like there's like when you think of Brooklyn Nets, I mean, you kind of not just the Nets in general, you think Jason Kidd, but
Vince.
At the same time, like there's not much of a championship history there for people to be drawn to because it's Minnesota, right? Like that's what's fighting against them. I don't know if big names are going to go over there. Talent is, you can support a player with a lot of talent, but like it's not enough to push them to the next level of where they need to go. Like Indiana, they got Tyrese and Miles Turner when they made that championship run, but they surrounded themselves, but they had a big name over there that helped make that run to the finals. So I don't think Minnesota's ever going to get to that point right now, which is why I think Ant-Man should consider leaving or stir up some drama to be like, hey, I'm going to leave.
I need him.
Giannis did it. He brought over like Giannis for Milwaukee. And look, he got a ring now. Like, and Milwaukee hasn't had a ring in years prior to that year.
Yeah.
So they got to do something.
I will still say it is the front office. Look, man, Indiana, that team didn't have stars. Tyrese Halliburton is not what you call a star. They drafted him. He plays well. Yes, he's on the Olympic team. He's not a star. That team just put together well. Everybody had a role, and they're well coached. In Minnesota, they don't have enough pieces right now. He doesn't need a star. That team is close. They just need something. They just need something else. So no, I don't know.
I agree with you. Good point.
He's much closer than what Giannis was, even with Dame. That Giannis and Dame, that didn't quite work.
Yeah.
But they're close. And they just need to figure it out. Like they're close,
Do you think they need a head coaching change? That tends to happen all the time. It's like the team is well crafted, and then another head coach comes by and shifts the culture and pushes them to the next level.
Bring in Doc Rivers and do nothing.
Please don't bring him back.
So he gets gifted opportunities like that. He does nothing. Bring in Doc.
Listen, that would not surprise me. It tracks. Doc Rivers is to coach the best players in the league all the time and do nothing with them. So
true.
Kev, you laugh, but it would not surprise me. Because
it would surprise.
Listen, that man he's skating off that one ring like woof.
Oh my goodness.
You would think he's Phil Jackson.
Right. Oh my goodness.
All right, man. So look, this has been great. Thanks, J Money, for joining us. I think you were a little bit late, but we appreciate you for still making time for the crew. Appreciate that. So look, this Kev from Ohio, that's J Money. This is B More. Hey God, we are out. Peace.
Peace.